Joe Rogan was one of them.
Yep.
Norm Finkelstein, the academic, wrote a pretty scathing email in response to the idea of meeting with Epstein. So there were people that actually did push back. And I think that gives more weight to what Mark is saying there, which is these folks who just met with him in like 2010 and pretended like they knew nothing. Rogan's like, all I did was Google the guy. And in like 2 seconds, I knew I wasn't going to meet with him. But to your
Yes,
point about the
that wonderful thing of Google. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, the magic machine. But to your point about the politics of it, I think there's a lot of political gain here. I think politicians are sharks; they smell blood in the water, and Epstein is drawing a lot of attention. And even kind of the way that these recent names were released, the file said there were supposedly at least 10 co-conspirators. Ghislaine Maxwell claims there's 25.
And she'll be
Massey
happy
put,
to tell you who they are as long as you let her walk. I just went
oh yeah,
clemency. No,
just
no
give me a
big deal.
pardon.
Yeah.
But Massey put pressure on the DOJ to release three more of the names because we knew Jean-Luc Brunel and Maxwell, and then we found out about three more, Wexner being one of them, which we knew. But an Emirati and Epstein's secretary. Then Massey said, if you don't release the other names, I will threaten to read them on the floor of Congress. And then it was Khanna who went in and read the four names. So it's like there already is sort of playing a little bit of politics there in terms of how they're doing this. So I think that's going to continue. Also, there's this, it's very weak evidence, but there's this evidence of like Hakeem Jeffries having money from Epstein. So if they take over the House and try and push Epstein, you know that's going to be used against Democrats. So I think the politics of this will continue. But the last thing I want to point out is the prison, because I do think his death is very interesting. Whenever we hear a death of someone who's highly connected in, say, Russia, we immediately conclude it's Putin, even though we don't investigate it.
Right.
But here in the United States, we were supposed to just believe it was a suicide. But gosh, when you get through these files, the investigators themselves have a lot of disagreements. They think the noose disappeared, that they make up this story about how the cameras didn't record. Now the cameras did record. They have this video of a so-called orange dot or orange blob going up the back stairs toward Epstein on camera during the time he died. Was on suicide watch because he was found passed out about a couple weeks earlier before his death. They claimed it was suicide. He claimed he was beaten up by another inmate. So, I mean, I think there's still a lot to investigate there. And as you go through these files, that's unraveling more and more of the official story.
Well, who would think that after Epstein's death, that Epstein would free America from Donald Trump? The voice for democracy, the death of Jeff Epstein. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, more to unravel. So stick around. We'll be right back. Jeff Epstein, the voice of democracy, the new Epstein party. God, every day, every fucking day.